This is a good one. This is supposed to be like the caption. This is from Facebook again. If Gohan didn't go to school and trained. Now, the interesting thing about this is that Gohan's ultimate form, as has been explained in the recent chapters, basically turns him into the version of himself that has been training, right? That's how they excuse him still keeping up with everyone despite not training. That power, like all for one, one for all, is not easy to have. Like, as you see, he didn't train at all. Green jumpsuit Gohan, we don't talk about that, right? But he trained with Piccolo after that, and since then he's been at least at a certain level keeping in shape, right? Like, even in superhero, like, he still has like a little bit of a build, like, but in that super, man, that man, he was skinny. He was really on some, what you wearing that jumpsuit for, bro? You're not working out. But I just always wondered to myself, like, I forgot what the time limits are for the hyperbolic time chamber, like the how long one person is allowed to be in there. I know there's limits on how long you can stay in there in one go, but I don't know if it matters. Like, if you go in for 1 year, leave, come back at a totally different time, stay for another 6 months, like, does it just add up and one day you just can't leave? Because there's no reason why Gohan, who trained in the hyperbolic time chamber, didn't use it. Goku and Vegeta used it to train after getting Super Saiyan Blue. And we know how this works. You don't have to go in there for an entire year. You could go in there for the equivalent of 2 hours outside and be in there for like 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks. Piccolo training with Gohan for the Tournament of Power. Why not use a hyperbolic time chamber? Even if Gohan has the ability to grow exponentially with his training and regain back that stuff pretty quickly, why not use the cheat code you have? Like, I really want to know, like, is there any canon reason why people aren't just spamming hyperbolic time chamber? Even Frieza found a version of it somewhere in the universe and used it to train to get to Frieza Black, or Black Frieza, whatever you want to call him. So I do think this would have been super interesting to see a Gohan that wanted to keep training, as he just, he could have also studied and just trained in the afternoon. Like, he really didn't have, there wasn't like song people to fight. He could have just trained with Piccolo, trained with Vegeta, trained in Hyperbolic Time Chamber. This is why I like in Team 4-Star that Vegeta was super mad that Goku didn't grab Gohan when Kid Buu destroyed the planet, because Gohan would have been able to beat Kid Buu. Gohan was strong enough to beat Kid Buu. He was stronger than Goku and Vegeta at that time. That's why, for me, Gohan Beast doesn't seem too far of a stretch if you're harnessing that ability to have like 10 years of training, 20 years of training, whatever. Like your body turned into the version that was training the entire time. Like, this is Ultimate Gohan is basically this without like the scars. Like, he just has to be able to go Ultimate, Mystic Gohan, whatever you want to call him now, and be right back at this mode. I do think, though, him not training in any martial arts with Piccolo or Vegeta while he was gone is why he has so much problems now. He's a smart person, yeah, but that means you can learn shit. You can learn a whole bunch of martial art styles. There's no reason as to why Gohan did not train with Piccolo more, at least, and just want to learn more of his techniques. Like, if you were asking the old me, I was gonna tell you, oh yeah, Gohan's gonna like use Hellzone grenades sometime in Dragon Ball Super. Like, I was assuming that. They did do that with Special Beam Cannon in the movie, so that was cool. But even Piccolo seemed a little bit surprised that he did it. And I'm like, did Gohan not learn it from you? But also, we see that Saiyans are able to copy techniques really easily with minimal instruction. So, could have been that. But what do you think? What do you think about this? The design is sick. Like, don't let me take away from that. This looks sick. If he kept the sword, I feel like this is movie Gohan. Like Gohan from the movies, like the non-canon movies, and he just grew up with, at that timeline, with Cooler and Metal Cooler and Brawly and Fire Brawly. He grew up in that timeline and was like, I gotta keep training because Dad's not here and people are coming here to beat my ass. So that's my headcanon. This is the movie Gohan, the non-canon movie Gohan when he gets older. I agree. Let's read together. If Gohan kept training, he'd still be the same. He'd balance both his life as a citizen and his life as a fighter. I just feel like the writers wanted to have his training montage be on screen. I don't know why they decided to have him not train the moment that he doesn't have to fight just because he doesn't like fighting. Because he's smart enough to understand he has a responsibility. I think a lot of time people put it on Chi-Chi as well, blaming her for it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Piccolo never came to say, hey, we should train. Piccolo never came to Chi-Chi and said, Chi-Chi, Gohan should train every once in a while. Chi-Chi will listen to Piccolo. So I just find it odd. I find it odd that throughout all that time, no one thought to themselves, yeah, Gohan should do something. Shoot, Piccolo could sneak him off for an afternoon to the hyperbolic time chamber. Just, to brush up on some stuff. We're going to read some comments. I didn't know how to go about this, so I just made my own comment. You can follow that back to the original video. If you have commented on the original video, hopefully you see this and come to this video. First off, Chi-Chi would never let Piccolo do whatever he wants to her son. If Chi-Chi wants Gohan to focus on school, then that's her call as a mother. Gohan has no issue either. Also, Chi-Chi didn't stop Gohan from training. She trained Goten, which allowed him to get Super Saiyan. I think Gohan had other priorities as a teen other than to train. This is rationalizing what already happened. Of course, we can. That's kind of what I said in the video. Like, we put it on Chi-Chi that she wanted Gohan to be a scholar, and she's been telling him that since he was a kid. So, as a kid, what else are you going to do when your dad's not around and your mom's the only influence? You're going to want to do the things that she wants you to do. Plus, he's the oldest son, so culturally, she's going to put that pressure on him, and I'm also an older child, and oversees this even more so. You're going to be the one to get our family financially straight. You're smart, you're strong, like, you could do this, right? Like, because your dad's a failure. Goten, we haven't seen her interact with Goten a lot, but she loves her son. But I think her training him was also understanding, because she's also a fighter, that these kids need to be able to defend themselves to a certain degree. No, she doesn't approve of anyone running around doing vigilantism. She doesn't approve of the Saiyaman stuff, none of that stuff. She always has to kind of get sat down and explained to about those things. And I don't know if this is canon or not, but I've been playing the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot game, and after the defeat of Cell, I think he was still Super Saiyan, and he wanted to train, and Chi-Chi, you had to sneak out to do stuff for a little bit, and Chi-Chi was like, I want you to just start studying again. I don't want you to do any of this stuff. Of course she doesn't want him to train. Yes, she can't physically stop Gohan from training. He can always just fly off and leave, but he's not ever going to make an argument unless something's actually happening. And since we just skip over that entire time and nothing happened to the Earth while Goku wasn't there was never a situation where Chi-Chi would say, okay, well, this is terrible, you should probably do something. She would probably still say, let Vegeta go handle it. Like, it would have to be one of those situations where, like, everyone comes and says, hey, come on, Chi-Chi, like, he is the strongest one here, and I said she respects Piccolo in his opinion, because we see in Super that when he's talking to Goku and Chi-Chi about taking care of pain, he's very much on top of those things, and people look to him for at least his opinion on stuff. But yes, I don't discredit this. I do think, no matter what, he doesn't want to fight. So if he has an opportunity to not train, and if no one's telling him to train, he's not going to train. Then when he got beat up in Resurrection F, he was like, oh crap, I should train. Then in Dragon Ball Super, he was like, okay, there's a tournament, I should probably train. Thank you for your comment. These two comments were in response to someone else. Note, he wasn't fighting until Raditz came down to Earth and Goku died. Piccolo trained in him because he saw his raw potential. He is the same, one of the greatest fighters used to conquer planets. While he wasn't fighting as a kid, it was Chi-Chi who wanted him to get an education and a degree. He fought to protect his family and friends and innocent lives. As Saiyan Man, I'd argue that he is one. Because someone's like, Gohan's not a fighter. And I'm like, he doesn't have a fighting spirit, but he knows how to fight. And he's not an idiot. And so my whole point of what I said was, logically, he should be like, I should probably train. I don't know how. Like, Goku literally told Gohan, it's up to you, when he killed himself at Cell. Vegeta tells Gohan all the time that you're the strongest out of all of us, you should train. Like, it's not like no one never said anything to the kid. He just didn't want to. And, that's fine. But he's a fighter. Like, he's naturally gifted at fighting. He's not as much as Goku because, like Vegeta, he thinks a lot. That's why he fights with his brain more so than anything else, but he has strength to back it up. And this is kind of the point. Like he says, I just find it lame that as a Saiyan on Earth, it is your responsibility to protect it, even if you don't want to. There's some evil shit out there. And then someone else said, yeah, but most of the threats are actually not that bad if the Saiyans use their heads more and don't let their battle lust take control. Vegeta letting Cell treat for Formula, Buddha be revived, etc. All of this is true. Gohan, after the defeat of Cell, after the defeat of Boo, right? And he decided to be the Great Saiyaman because he was still protecting people. I've been playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. He started going to school, and then he saw crime happening in that city and started protecting people in Super Saiyan, and then got the outfit because people would begin to recognize his face eventually, which still wasn't good enough because he should have got a voice modulator, but I mean, that's on him. He's from the country. What you want to do? But logically, he should be thinking, I do have a responsibility to protect the Earth. I know the guardian of the Earth. I don't know if I should rely on Vegeta necessarily because, again, he does dumb shit like let enemies get to their strongest level. Even if he says he learned, I don't trust Vegeta to not go into goading. He has ultra ego. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would definitely let someone get stronger if he still thinks he can win. Gohan would not let that happen. No matter how this dude may look, he's still smarter than his dad. He still logically can think about his role on the planet and say, you know what? He says it. He says it in Super. He says, Dad and Vegeta aren't going to be around forever. I need to, I got to get in shape. I got to be able to fight back against anything that can happen. Because we never see things happen really bad, really terrible things happen when Goku and Vegeta are not around, right? And Superhero was the first time that happened, and that was kind of manufactured, but also kind of real. So we see in that movie an example of the rationale, even though it was Piccolo doing it, but once Gohan got hip to it, it was like, okay, cool. But even Gohan in Superhero was after the training he received in Super for the Tournament of Power. That's why he was able to go Ultimate, right? That's how he's able to do that, because he already switched on the idea of I should stay in shape at least. That's why he's in shape in that movie. I said all of this in the original video, and I felt like people are commenting without listening to the entire video or wanting to get their point across without realizing I already addressed that point. Knowing everything that you know about the series, knowing what Chi-Chi probably did, knowing that Gohan probably agreed with her, we know all of those things already because it's what happened. Telling me what happened in the series, I don't know what the point of that is. We all watched it. We're talking about this scenario. Logically, he can have both those lives if he wanted to. I said he could always sneak off. He only needs 1 hour in a hyperbolic time chamber every once in a while. He could say, I'm going to go see Chi-Chi. I'm going to go see Bulma. And then say, hey, Vegeta, you want to spar for a little bit? He want to ask Vegeta to spar. That's the thing. He wanted, right? So, that's his character. We're talking about his character is he probably would avoid training, which is what he did. We're talking about this fantasy scenario now.